everybody, welcome back to day 2 here at the Classic MotoFest of Monterey with AHRMA, American Historical Motorcycle Racing Association. We are here live streaming the road racing for today, and we had a huge live stream going yesterday as well, so make sure if you missed it, you could always go back and check it out. I am up here in the booth with Mr. Jay McMacken holding down all of the announcing duties up here. We're looking forward to a great day of racing, right?
Absolutely.
Jay's got to do an announcement in 2 seconds, letting everybody know that they need to get down to the grid, so I'm going to put a pin in it.
Attention out there in the paddock. Let's go third and final call for race number 1. Everybody's in position. Let's get started with this thing. It's third and final call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup presented by Tim CBX and the CBX International Owners Association. Sound of Thunder 3 presented by Incubed Racing and Motorcycle Supply, and Next Gen Superbike presented by Appalachian Mountain Tours and Ned Heidel. If you folks want to bring them on up, we'll send you out here for your hot lap right now. Again, it is third and final call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup. Sound of Thunder 3 and Next Gen Superbike. Third call for race number 1. Third call.
And welcome to the feed, everybody. If you are not aware, this is the third of 4 awesome MotoFests
Announced to start.
presented by AHRMA. And what a MotoFest is it's literally everything motorcycle. It's road racing, it's dirt bikes, it's flat track, swap meets, parties. We've got everything going on. We had a bike night on Thursday that was awesome. We've had such a great weekend out here at beautiful Laguna, Seca. You just heard Jay announce third call, which means the bikes are headed out to the grid, so let's go down trackside. As always, you can go ahead and say hey to us in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I know we've got some AHRMA racers who couldn't make it out west who've been following on along, so make sure you peek in and say hey. Now let's go down to the track.
As the riders get ready to take to the track for their hot lap, here's how they're going to grid out. For the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup on row number 1, bike number 1R, David Crussell, 1V, Kevin Rammer, 045, Curtis Adams, and 90D, Darren Gavin, 41A, Kerry Andrews is on row number 2, as is 113, Andrew Gray, and 71B, CJ Benura. For the Sound of Thunder 3, presented by Incubed Racing and Motorcycle Supply, back on row number 4, it's going to be bike number 1F, Kevin Grimmel, 47Z, Norman Smith, 34, Jay Kinberger, and 8NZ, Tony Dukas. Row number 5, it's going to be 811, Tommy Ryan, and X16, Ray Cole, and R66, Mike Root. Row number 6 at 735, David Kilkenny, 771, Ray Hoffman, 632, Dwayne Hickson, and 11X Stuart Clotworthy. Then rounding out your field on that field in row number 7, in that class rather, row number 7 at 77T, Bruce Berry. For the Next Gen Superbike, presented by Appalachian Mountain Tours and Ned Heidel, on row number 9, it's going to be bike number 1Y, Jim Barker, bike number 14, Brian Lehrbrewer, 880, James McKay, and bike number 16R, Roger Baker. That's your field as they come around to grid up in anticipation of the start here in just a moment.
Alright, we've already got some folks tuning in. Pat McGraw, welcome back to the program. Matthew J. Carlson, I think you tuned in yesterday as well. Thanks for clicking on. Make sure you guys go on ahead and hit that share button. Let people know about this live feed that's going on. I know some of you belong to other big vintage and motorcycle pages out there on Facebook, so make sure you go ahead and share this with them and let them know that there's some awesome racing going on out here at beautiful Laguna Seca.
Absolutely, getting ready for it. They're coming around to grid up. For the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup, this is sponsored by 36, also known as ICOA. Tim's CBX is an independent shop that specializes in Honda CBX 6-cylinder machines. They sell parts and offer services for the CBX only. They offer hundreds of OEM and custom parts to keep the Honda CBXs on the road, and of course they race one in this class. The International CBX Owners Association is the oldest Honda CBX club, and it's noteworthy that this is a single motorcycle club only. The Honda CBX 6-cylinder was only produced for 4 years and still has a very popular following. The class itself, this is a variety of machines up through the 1982 model year based on showroom stock bikes. Race-prepped 4-cylinder Japanese bikes in the 900 to 1,000cc range can be seen out there. Unlimited displacement pushrod triples such as the Triumph Trident and BSA are also legal for this class. And unlimited displacement twins from BMW, Moto Guzzi, and Harley Davidson are out there. Even the 6-cylinder Honda CBX can be seen in this class. For the Sound of Thunder 3, sponsored by Incubed Motorcycle Racing, when duct tape and zip ties just won't do, give them a call. Motorcycle Supply is run by experienced gray-haired riders and racers serving motorcyclists with parts, accessories, and gear since 1988. Come see them when you're in Manhattan, Kansas. It's the home of 1,300 miles of highway and only 11 curves. This class itself is comprised of a variety of twin-cylinder bikes, including the Harley XR 1200. Pushrod overhead valve machines up to 1,000 cc's are legal. Overhead cam engines with up to 3 cylinders or 3 valves per cylinder are legal, and single overhead cam liquid cool V-twins to 750 are legal. As the grid is set up here, looks like the one board's up. Green flag goes, and it's bike number 1V. Kevin Rammer drops the hammer and gets the jump as he leads the field up over the turn 1, or up over the crest of the hill, over to turn 1, down into turn number 2. Looking back, waiting for the second wave of Sound of Thunder 3 and Next Gen Superbikes to get going here in a minute. We've got to make sure that the first turn is clear of the first wave. Second wave goes, the green flag waves, and it looks like it's bike number 1F, Kevin Grimmel, getting a great start with 111, Tommy Ryan running right down the inside as that second wave takes off up over the crest of the hill here in the opening turns of race number 1. Meanwhile, the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup bike all the way over in the turns 3-4 area here on the opening laps.
All right, on your screen right now, we are seeing everybody making their way through 2, heading into 3. 3 is the big sweeper at the bottom of the screen.
Boy, you can hear him thundering out there, can't you?
Yeah. All right, and that is 3 headed to 4, and in the middle of your screen is going to be that section of around like 5 and 6.
Race leaders working their way out of turn number 4 through 5, up the hill and to the backside through turn number 6 they go, as the Vintage Cup riders trying to figure out who's going to lead and who's going to follow here in the opening turns. While we're waiting for them to come back around and complete lap number 1 in just a moment, want to remind everybody this is a great time for the racers to check their bikes and make sure your transponders are on your bikes and that they are functioning properly. Again, a good time to check your bike. Make sure you didn't accidentally leave the transponder on the charger. Please make sure the transponders are on your bikes.
Alrighty, and we've got the very first wave making their way down the front straight right now.
Here comes your race leader out of turn number 11 across the start-finish line. Looks like it's going to be bike number 045. That's Curtis Adams out there with almost a half a front straightaway lead. Next across the line is going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell with 1V, Kevin Rammer right there behind him as those two are duking it out for second place. Looks like they've got a substantial lead over the second wave. Here comes your riders from the second wave out of turn number 11. Down the front straightaway, a 2-bike horse race as they work their way across the start-finish line. Out front, it's going to be 16R Roger Baker with 34 and Jay Kinberger starting from way back in the middle of the field up there to that second place position in class in 880. James McKay rounding out your top 3. Actually, Baker's leading for the Next Gen, then Jay Kinberger. He's leading for the Sound of Thunder 3, 5th overall. Then 880, James McKay back there second in class. Second in class for the Sound of Thunder 3 is going to be bike number 1F, Kevin Grimmel. Then bike number 14, Brian Larabrewer. He's 8th overall. Third in class for the Next Gen Superbike. Then 771, Ray Hoffman's back there in 9th, and 811, Tommy Ryan round out your top 10 as everybody's completed lap number 1. Starting lap number 2, 045, Curtis Adams wasting no time, setting a blistering pace here in the opening laps of race number 1.
Yeah, already some great racing. Yesterday was a great day as well. Again, if you missed out on yesterday's live feed, they live forever and ever on Facebook and on the AHRMA YouTube pages. You can click over and go check those out. Of course, we've got our front pack making their way through the corkscrew right now and heading through Rainy Curve in just one moment.
Race leader back onto the front straightaway. It's going to be bike number 045, Curtis Adams, obviously really checking out on the field. He's already over the crest of the hill down into turn number 1. Second place rider out of turn number 11 down the front straightaway himself. I believe it is. It's going to be 1R, Kevin or David Crussell out there holding on to that second place with bike number 1V, Kevin Rammer rounding out your top 3. Looks like the second wave starting to close in on that first wave as here comes your race leader for the Next Gen Superbike field. That's going to be 16R Roger Baker. He's got bike number 880, James McKay, right behind him. So McKay moves up a spot on the overall board up. He's still holding on to second for Next Gen Superbike. Meanwhile, 34, Jay Kinberger holding on to the lead for the Sound of Thunder. He drops back a position on the leaderboard, but still holding on to the lead for Sound of Thunder. Then bike number 14, Brian Larabrewer out there. He's running 7th overall, 3rd in class for the Next Gen Superbike. 771, Ray Hoffman back there in 8th. Bike number 1F, Kevin Grimmel back there in that 9th position. I believe he's running 2nd in class for Sound of Thunder, and it should be 811, Tommy Ryan rounding out your top 3 for the Sound of Thunder. Now, these are all unofficial. We have to wait till the checkered flag flies, but that's how they're shaping up right now as 045, Curtis Adams already working his way through the back section, coming up on halfway next time by.
Yeah, Curtis Adams just dropping the hammer this morning.
Man, he is checking out.
Taking no prisoners for the first race of the day, and is just putting on a clinic out there. I'm going to go creep for him over in the corkscrew and see if I can track him down. He should be...
He's already on the front straightaway.
Oh, he's already out there. Oh.
That's how fast he is.
Oh, there we go.
0:45, Curtis Adams one more time down the front straightaway, seeing the green and white flags, let him know he's got 3 done and 3 left to go as he is absolutely on rails out there. He's now down over into the entrance of turn 2, waiting for second place rider, bike number 1R, David Crussell, who's rocketing out of turn number 11 himself down that front straightaway to see the green and white flags, letting him know he is starting his second half of the race. 1B, Kevin Rammer still back there in third. Here comes the next gen Superbike field, though. 16R, Roger Baker has 880. James McKay right on his tail section as they've reeled in wave number 1 as they start the second half of their race. Then it's going to be bike number 14, Brian Larabur. He rounds out your top 5 for the next gen Superbike. Wary Hoffman on bike number 771 back there. I believe actually Ray is leading for the Sound of Thunder 3. Then it's going to be bike number 34, Jay Kinberger, second for Sound of Thunder, and 811 Tommy Ryan rounding out your top 3 for Sound of Thunder with bike number 1F, Kevin Grimmel off the podium for Sound of Thunder in that 4th place position in class, 10th overall as the rest of the field thunders by again. Bike number 045, Curtis Adams, just gone.
As always, you can get all of the more detailed results over at race-monitor.com. I'm not going to lie, I clicked on the wrong thing, so I don't have it on my feed right now, but I'm going to fix it here in just 1 second.
Don't! Don't!
Yeah, I adjusted something earlier, and I was like, I wonder what that is. And now I know what I did.
Life happens. Race leader one more time, 045, Curtis Adams out of turn number 11 across the start-finish line. Since the entire field has seen halfway, whatever happens in this race, it would be considered complete. Waiting for bike number 1R, David Crussell. He's working his way down through the rainy curves, waiting for him to come into view here in just a moment. There he is. It's going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell, across out of turn number 11. Then the battle for next gen Superbike is Baker still leading McKay by about 4 bike lengths as they thunder across that start-finish line one more time. Speaking of next gen Superbikes, this class is sponsored by Appalachian Mountain Tours and Ned Heidel. AHRMA's mission with this class is to recreate and preserve the look and feel of this popular era of U.S. Superbike racing. Based on production machinery available on the dealer showroom floor, these motorcycles were modified within a set of rules that kept the machines looking relatively stock but allowed a dramatic increase in their performance. The field itself is comprised of mid-80s to early 90s production machines taken from the showroom floor and modified into race bikes. Twin-cylinder bikes up to 1,000 cc's are legal, as are 4-cylinder bikes that are 750cc models from Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha. This is the era when riders like Fred Merkel, Bubba Schobert, and Wayne Rainey ruled in the U.S. Okay. Where's my race leader? It's got to be somewhere in the back section.
Yeah, I've been creeping for Curtis. I felt like he was heading this way here in a second. Let's go see what's going on over the corkscrew. Okay, this might him. There's a super solo rider out there. No. Alright, we're all gonna have to look at race monitor.
Here he comes.
Oh, there he is. I was right. This is...
045, Curtis Adams still in the lead as he sees the white flag coming out. Then it's the battle between 16R Roger Baker and 880 James McKay. McKay was only about 3 bike lengths adrift of Roger Baker as they thundered down that front straightaway. Then it's going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell. He's 4th overall, 2nd in class for the vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup. Then it's going to be bike number 14, Brian Larabur. He rounds out your top 5. He's running 3rd in class for the next gen Superbike 771. Ray Hoffman back there for Sound of Thunder 3, leading in that class with bike number 34, Jay Kinberger right behind him. 2nd in class for Sound of Thunder. And then bike number 1B, Kevin Rammer. He's 8th overall, running 3rd in class back there for the vintage Superbike medium weight. It looks like it's going to be 8-11. Tommy Ryan, he rounds out the top 3 for the Sound of Thunder 3 class as they all have started their last lap. Meanwhile, up front, 0:45, Curtis Adams once again is out in front and continuing to stretch his lead, and quite a dominance of this race as he led that first lap and did not look back at all.
All right now, if you're following along at home, this is the middle section. This is 3 headed to 4 on the lower part of your screen. The middle part is 5 and 6.
Checkered flag out for your unofficial race winner, bike number 045, Curtis Adams, making it look easy. Here comes the battle for next gen Superbike as they rocket out of it. Oh, I'm sorry. This is back markers here. Some of the slower riders have found it was our dual pair of Barker and McKay. As those guys here, they come out of it. It looks like bike number 880, James McKay, was able to make a move over the back section of the course. So put 880, James McKay, up on the top step of the podium unofficially for next gen Superbike with bike number 16R. Roger Baker right there behind him.
Yeah, that was down to the wire, right? That turned into a drag race.
Let's go. First call for race number 2, CB160 pre-1940 and next gen or novice heavyweight production, novice historic production lightweight. Again, first call for race number 2, CB160 pre-1940 and novice historic production lightweight. First call for race number 2.
Adam Miller, thanks for tuning in. Ned Heidel, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a sponsor. Stacy Carver, thanks for tuning in. Tina Miller's watching. David Firks is watching. John Dambro, thanks for tuning in. Jim McGrath. Walt Fulton, thanks for tuning in, friend. Rudy
Hey,
Muller, thank you for watching. Stephen Hoover, thanks for tuning in. Pat McBride.
Attention to the paddock row. CB160, if you guys have got your holders, please send them down here to Hot Pit Lane now. Don't forget, for CB160 riders, you guys are going to be up here in just a moment. Don't forget to send your holders down here. Again, CB160 riders, please send your holders down here to Hot Pit Lane. The rest of these bikes are making their way across start finish. For the more detailed results, you can click on over to race-monitor.com. And while people are making their way back, I'm going to fiddle with the screen a little bit. It's going to look a little crazy, I think, on the live feed. I apologize. I monkeyed around with the race monitor. Attention out there in the paddock. Again, holders for the CB160 race. We need you guys to start making your way up here to pit out immediately so we can get you lined up out there to hold the bikes. Again, CB160 Le Mans riders, you'll need a holder for your bike. If you want to send them up to the hot pit area, we'll start getting you guys set up right now. Attention to the paddock, let's go. Second call, race number 2, CB160, pre-1940 and novice historic production lightweight. You guys will be up here in just a moment. It's second call for CB160, pre-1940 and novice historic production lightweight. You folks will be up in just a moment. It's second call for race number 2. Also, CB160 riders, please make sure you send your holders up here to Hot Pit Lane. To pit out, rather. We'll get those all gridded up out there. Again, send the holders for the CB160 class to pit out as quickly as possible, please. All right, I'm just going to leave it alone. All righty, got it back. Copy that. I got behind my calls just a little bit.
Thank you for your patience, everybody watching at home. I appreciate you. Tim Terrell, we miss you. Cindy McLean, thanks for tuning in.
Copy that. Thank you.
All right, and our race number 2 of the morning is going to be the CB160 class Novice Prodi Light. And what else? Is that it?
No, pre-1940.
And pre-1940.
And Novice Historic Production Lightweight.
Prodi Light.
That was such a great race. I got behind in my calls.
I
Oops.
know. Sometimes, I mean, we're fans up here. Sometimes we're even guilty of watching the racing. We love it.
That was a great race between McKay and Baker.
That was a great race. That was a really, really good time.
I really wish I could have seen where they made the pass in the back, because I bet it was beautiful.
Oh gosh, yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We've got a whole bunch of racers and familiar faces watching. As always, feel free to peek in and say, hey, I love what you guys. Let us know where you're tuning in from. This is day 2 of an awesome classic MotoFest of Monterey, presented by AHRMA. So we
attention out there in the paddock. Let's go.
Third
and final call. Race number 2, CB160, pre-1940s and novice historic production lightweight. You guys are up right now if you want to bring them on up. Again, it is third and final call. Race number 2, CB160, pre-1940 and novice historic production lightweight. Bring them on up. We'll send you out here in just a moment.
And if you're not familiar with Laguna Seca, I went ahead and put a map up on the screen so you can kind of orient yourselves. Jay and I are sitting right down by where it says track entrance and turn 1. That's our neck of the woods. I've got a camera that's at that corner 3 that points up towards 3, 5, like that middle area. I've got a camera also that is pointing towards the corkscrew and rainy curve. And then, of course, cameras at the flagger stand. So just so you kind of can get a lay of the land of where we're shooting from and where everything is. But yeah, we've had a great couple of days here so far. The weather is spectacular. If you didn't make it this year, you've got to put this on your bucket list.
Absolutely.
We've got one more MotoFest this season for 2022. It is going to be at Barber in Leeds, Alabama in October. So make sure you put that on your bucket list. And head over to AHRMA.org for all of our full schedules and calendars. We don't just do MotoFest. We've got racing going on all season long, all across the country. But these MotoFests are just an opportunity to bring the road racing folks and the dirt racing folks together and turn it into a great, big, huge party. And we have a heck of a good time. Again, you can get all of our schedule information and find out how you can come racing with us over at www.arma.org. Now, let's go back to the track.
Announced to start. Third has gone out.
This CB160 is an exhibition-style race. This is going to have a Le Mans-style start where they have assistants holding the bikes on one side of the track. The racers have to run across the track and then bump start their machines. They're heading out right now, however, to take their sighting or warm-up lap.
As the riders take to the track here for the start of this one for the CB160 race, sponsored by M3 Racing. On row number 1, it's 73X Richard Illman, 51X Alan Siegman. Row number 2, row number 3, it's 678 Matthew Winters. Row number 4, it's 13K Rod Skaggs. Row number 5, it's 226 Tim O'Mahony. Row number 6, it's 218 Tico Sandoval. Row number 7, it's 72J Neil Jensen. Row number 8, it's M49 Thomas Hillard. Row number 9, it's 219X Tim Fowler. Row number 10, it's 091 Nick Taylor. Row number 11, it's 082 Brandon Jensen. Row number 12, it's 211 Karen O'Mahony. Row number 13, it's 227 Samantha Daffo. Row number 14, it's 425 Richard Vanderstraten. And row number 15, it's bike number 393, Dr. Arash Nadashari. Row number 16, it's bike number 35L, Jack Haynes. Row number 17, it's 116, David Stark. Row number 18, 161, Mario Daffo. Row number 19, it's 36, Marcelo Daffo. Row number 20, it's 333, John Regan. Row number 21, it's 761, Sam Kaufman. And then row number 22, it's M49, Mike Miranda. For the pre-1940 class, sponsored by Norton Manx Racing and Rob McKeever. On row number 24, it's bike number 81, Ralph Wessel, 27, Bino Rodi, and 75A, Gary Roper. For the Novice Historic Production Lightweight, presented by LMP and Graphics Works. On row number 26, it's 7S, Mitch Skaggs, 76U, Luke Sayer, and bike number 831, Andy Davis. That is your field here for race number 2, the CB160 exhibition race.
All right, I'm creeping right now in the corkscrew, waiting for our very first bikes to make their way around the track for their sighting or warm-up lap.
For the CB160 Le Mans race, this is sponsored by N3 or N-Cubed Racing, rather. This is an exhibition class open to 1960 Honda CB160 4-stroke twins. This class runs fewer laps than the non-exhibition races, and it features the unique Le Mans-style start, which is popular to both riders and fans. And for anybody who's not seen one of these starts in the paddock, I encourage you to get up here to the hot pit lane and check it out. The machines range from lightly modified to full-blown racers. Riders must enter the 200 Grand Prix class to be eligible for the CB160 competition. For the pre-1940 Grand Prix field, this is sponsored by Norton Manx Racing and Rob McKeever. Bob McKeever, also known as Champagne Bob, raced in Daytona in 1948 and was heavily involved in vintage racing for many years. Sadly, he passed away in January of 27 at the age of 97. Bob founded Champagne Bob Racing, which has evolved into Norton Manx Racing and carries on Bob's passion. Bob's son, Rob McKeever, is the team's manager and continues the race program. The Norton Manx racers are Alex McLean and his wife, Cindy. This class is intended for 1940 and earlier GP and modified street machines up to and including 500cc overhead valve and overhead cam engine designs, or 750 side valve machines. Like design models are also permitted. All major components must be OEM parts that existed prior to 1941 or are accurate, detailed replicas of the same parts using the same types of materials and technology. Alex McLean is the 2021 pre-1940 Grand Prix champion. Looks like we've got the 160 riders set up. The riders are putting their machines up against the wall on one side of the track and making their way across the track so they can get ready for the start. When the starter waves the green flag, the idea is to sprint across the track, fire up the machine, and take off towards turn number 1. What do we got there?
Race 13.
Looks like the riders are all set up out there, getting ready for the go.
They're getting ready for some fitness, Jay.
Yeah,
they got to do some running.
Got some
before
cardio going here.
Just some quick cardio, get that heart rate up before you go hit the track.
2 boards up, riders are in the stance, getting ready to take off like Jesse Owens across the track. Here they go, and the green flag waves as the riders run over there, jump on their machines, and give them a hearty push and fire them off. Looks like 73X. It is going to be bike number 73X, Richard Illman, getting a jump on the field. 51X, Alan Siegman back there. A couple of bikes starting. This is always interesting. Oh, and we've got one that just will not start back in the back there. We're going to try and give him a quick shove, see if he can't get it fired up.
Doesn't as good. Oh, nope, they got it
And
off.
unfortunately, the way it is with these bump starts, if it doesn't bump, they put them up against the wall, put the you get the rider over the wall so they can get the second wave off.
All right, first wave is making its way through turn 3 right now.
Looks like the CB160 riders out of turn number 2 over into turn number 3 as we get the track cleared, waiting for the second wave to go here in just a moment. And the green flag waves out there for the pre-1940 and the Novice Historic Production Lightweight bike. Speaking of the Novice Historic Production Lightweight, this class is sponsored by Louisville Motorcycle Performance and Graphics Works. Louisville Motorcycle Performance, aka LMP, they specialize in vintage restoration, race motor prep, vapor honing, and reclaiming vintage brakes. If you want to stop, go see them. Gemco is a 40-year-old company specializing in custom handmade vintage racing exhausts. They can produce over 40 models of exhaust styles from road racing, flat track, motocross, and off-road. They're taking exhaust orders at the rig. They can also transport vapor hone jobs to the races. For the field itself, this is open to 1978 and earlier street machines in very close to standard production trim. Minimal modifications make this an inexpensive entry-level class, which is why it is intended for novice-level riders only. The lightweight class is for 4 strokes up to 500 cc's. 252 strokes and certain 352 strokes can also be seen on the track.
All right, CB160 first wave is making its way through the corkscrew and rainy curve right now.
Looks like the CB160 crew's working their way through corkscrew down through rainy curves, and here they come onto the front straightaway, waiting to complete lap number 1 of this 4-lap exhibition race. At the line, 226, Tim O'Mahony leading bike number 35L, Jack Haynes, and bike number 678, Matthew Winters. Then 72J, Neil Jensen back there in 4th, and 082, Brandon Jansen round out your top 5. Back in that 6th place position is 393, or Dr. Arash Nadashari. Bike number 219, Tim Fowler is in 7th place. Speak, Jay. 8th place at the moment belongs to 36, Marcelo Daffo. 51X, Alan Seekman's back there at 9th, and 761, Sam Kaufman round out your top 10 as the field starts the second lap of this 4-lap race. Announced to control.
Thanks for tuning in. Cindy McLean, class sponsor.
FYI, if we want to try and squeeze in a third race, we
right
do
now
have
you're
two
looking at
back-to-backs
right
in this
between
one.
turn 3 and 4. There's a little mini straight, and then if you go up into the middle of the screen, that's 5 heading into 6. Let's go see pre-1940.
I think those were next gen there.
Oh, next gen. Sorry,
Yeah.
I could just hear the louder
Well,
engines.
actually,
I wasn't actually looking up.
Those are the Prati bikes.
Oh, Prati.
For the novice historic production lightweight is bike number 7S, Mitch Skaggs leading 831, Andy Davis. Then for the pre-1940 75A, Gary Roper's out there leading, looks like bike number 81, Ralph Wessel. Go for an ounce.
I wasn't looking so much as listening.
Give me just a second.
All right, let's go see what's going on over the corkscrew.
Back-to-backs are currently running 6th and 13th at the moment.
And let's make sure to check in with Race Monitor as well.
Here come your CB160 riders once again down the front straightaway. Oh, looks like Jack Cain's on bike number 35L, just snookered. 678, Matthew Winters pulling a perfect draft pass at the line to lead that lap. We'll see what Winters has up his sleeves to try and work his way back into the back up onto that top step of the podium. 226, Tim O'Mahony still holding on to that third place position. 393, Dr. Arash Nashari bringing himself up to 4th overall, so he's eyeing that third step of the podium. 36, Marcelo Daffo round out your top 5. 082, Brandon Jansen is back there in 6th. 72, J. Neil Jensen's in 7th. 219X, Tim Fowler's back there in 8th. 51X, Alan Siegman in 9th. And bike number 761, Sam Kaufman, round out the top 10.
For more detailed results and results a little bit further down grid, make sure you make your way over to race-monitor.com. I can only show the first 10 finishers on my screen at a time.
If you'd like to see this, back in 7th is 218 Tico Sandoval. 091, Nick Taylor's back in 12th. 211, Karen O'Mahony's in 13th. 73X, Richard Illman's back in 14th. 161, Maria Dolfo's back in 15th. 333, John Regan's in 16th. 17th is M49, Mike Miranda. 18th is 116, David Stark. Hopefully we'll see him later today.
Stark.
19th is 7S, Mitch Skaggs. And 831, Andy Davis, round out your top 20.
Awesome. Thank you.
Announce to control. B2Bs are running 4th and 13th respectively.
Right now we are looking up towards 5 and 6, and let's go see what's going on over
White
in
flag coming out for your race leader as that duo comes out of turn number 11 down the front straightaway. Last lap it was 35L. Cain's out there. Jack Cain's leading, and this time it is 678. Matthew Winters worked him way back up to the top step of the podium as they start their last lap with 35L. Jack Cain's right there behind him. Go for announce. Copy that. Third place, bike number 393, Dr. Raj Nadarshari out there putting himself up on that top step of the podium, as then he's going to be chased down by 36, Marcelo Dolfo back there in 4th, and 219X, Tim Fowler rounding out your top 5. Looks like 226, Tim O'Mahony is dropping down the leaderboard. Not sure if he had a mechanical issue or what, but unfortunately he's working his way down the leaderboard, so I believe he's out of the race. 082, Brandon Jansen's up there in 6th. 72, J. Neil Jensen in 7th. 51X, Alan Siegman in 8th. 761, Sam Kaufman in 9th. And 218, Tico Sandoval round out your top 10. Attention in the paddock, we are going to start the calls for race number 3. We believe we can get this one in before lunch, so stay tuned. We'll get the calls going here for race number 3 in just a minute. But again, race number 3 riders, we are going to get you guys in before lunch. So again, race number 3, you guys are up here in just a moment. We'll get the calls going for that in just a moment. The race leaders, the winners and Canes are just having a great battle out there.
Just digging it out, Jack Canes, of course, a very fast racer from a racy family out of Wisconsin. We are stoked to have them and a handful of other Wisconsin folks making the trek all the way out here this year to go racing with us.
This might be race leader. Nope. Yep, that's race leader.
Yes.
Race leader, bike number 678, Matthew Winters, taking the unofficial win as he really put his head down on the last lap, held about 4 to 5 bike length over 35L. Jack Canes coming home solidly there in second. Here's the battle for third as the dual riders work their way out of turn number 11 across the start-finish line. Looks it's going to be it's bike number 36, Marcelo Daffo, just nipping Dr. Rashman Nader Shari out there on bike number 393, so putting Marcelo Daffo unofficially up on that third step of the podium. 219X Tim Fowler round out your top 5 with 082 Brandon Jensen back there in second, or rather sixth rather, and 72J Neil Jensen back in that 7th place position. Attention in the paddock. Let's go first call. First call for race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. You guys will be up here in just a moment. Again, it is first call. First call for race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. First call, race number 3. First call.
Heck of a race going on up there between those two, right? That
It
City
was.
160 class. Very exciting. I love all the different families that race together. We said the name Daffo at least a half a dozen times during this race.
I think it's
the whole
either
family-
brother,
yeah.
sister, or
It's
mother,
brother,
father,
sis-
brother.
It is. It's brother and sister and dad.
Oh, is it?
All
Okay.
come racing with us. They're from Daffo Winery.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
in Southern California. They are huge fans of racing. They come racing with us, and they have got a beautiful collection of Italian bikes and all sorts of cool stuff down there. Just really fun, and I love that it's this whole family affair. Literally everybody comes out because the kids and the dad race, but then the whole family comes.
Sure.
And
Make
it's
it
always
fair.
a ton of fun and a really cool thing. So
That
that's
is
really
true.
neat. That's all good stuff. Arch York, thanks for tuning in. Again, somebody who races with us
Yeah.
and is a sponsor. So thanks for tuning
11
in.
UTR.
We appreciate you. And again, I feature the top 10 here on the live feed, but for all of the down grid details, you can go ahead over to race-monitor.com.
Looking on down through the grids here, it looks like it's
Thanks, friend.
bike number 75A, Gary Roper, taking the unofficial win out there for the pre-1940 class, and looks like going through for the novice historic production lightweight, looks like 7S Mitch Skaggs takes the unofficial win for that group.
Thanks, Jay.
No problem. We got some back-to-back, so I'm going to wait till just about everybody's in, because fourth place was one of the back-to-backs, and where was?
Is the top 4 or 5 of all 3 classes in? Is everybody?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
They should all.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull this down. And then if we have got a little back-to-back situation.
Go for announce.
So if you
Copy that.
are wondering what back-to-back means, it means literally that we have a racer that's entered 2
Attention out there in the
classes. So we
paddock,
try to give them an extra 60
practice
seconds.
times for all
That
the
way they
practice
can
groups have
change
been
bikes or
posted,
put
and
gas
race
in.
results for race number 1 are also posted. Again, practice times have been posted, and results for race number 1 are posted. Again, practice times and results for race number 1 are posted. Sorry about that.
No worries. So while we're giving them just a hot second to take care of what they need to take care of, switch bikes, put gas, do whatever they got to do, I made a really cool little video, if I do say so myself, of a beautiful bike night that we had here
Also,
in
want to let everybody know
Carmel.
that
So let's
the
go ahead and check
grids
out
for race
some of the
13 are
awesome stuff
posted
going
now.
on
Again, grids
during
for
this
race
classic
13 are posted,
MotoFest
so
in
if you're in race
Monterey.
13, get on down there and check it.
we've had an excellent time here the past handful of days. The weather has been unbelievable out here.
It has just been beautiful.
Absolutely perfect riding, perfect weather, great racing. And again, these MotoFests are an opportunity to bring our dirt family and our road racing family together. So we have had flat track, we have had cross country, we've had trials, we've had road racing, obviously, we've had parties, we've had bike nights, we've had great stuff going on, bands and music and food trucks and bike contests.
Oh yeah,
all
bike
sorts
shows,
of cool stuff
yeah.
going on here. So if you missed out, first of all, thanks for watching on the live feed. I'll forgive you for that. But make sure you go ahead and put this on your calendar for next year, or come join us in the fall for our very last MotoFest of the season, which is going to be at Barber in Birmingham, Alabama, Leeds, Alabama. Make sure you come on out. But if you want to come racing with us, which you should, and have some of this fun and excitement for yourself, go to AHRMA.org and find out how you can come racing with us. We'd love to have you. Well, of course, we feature antique, historical, and classic bikes. We also have modern classes here. We do race modern bikes as well. So we've got room for everybody here at AHRMA. Come join our family. Head over to AHRMA.org for more details. Let's go ahead and get the graphics ready for our next race, which is going to be race number 3 for today. And what is in race number 3?
A lot of fast bikes.
It looks like a lot of fast bikes. It looks like
Sound of Thunder 1. The motards and the electric bikes are going to be out there too, so these guys are going to be flying. Attention out there in the paddock. Let's go third call. Third and final call for practice crew, or for race number 3. Third call for race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1 motards, Formula Extreme Lightning, or Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. You guys are up right now. Again, it's third call. Third and final call for race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1 presented by AHRMA Motorsports. Motard presented by Motul. The Formula Extreme presented by Team Power Sports and Sev Alderman, and Formula Lightning presented by Peter Nicolosi. If you folks want to bring them on up, the track is now yours. Again, it's third call, third and final call, race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning, third call.
Okay, perfect.
Announced to start, third call's gone out.
Oh, and Cindy just corrected me. Barber is not a MotoFest. It is a vintage festival.
It's the vintage festival, yeah.
My bad.
That's all right.
But it's a heck of a good time, and we do everything there too.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is also a heck of a good time.
Beautiful.
And you should be putting that on your calendar either
Yeah.
way. But we race other than these festivals. We race all the time, all season long, all over the place. And the full calendar can be found out at AHRMA.org.
Electric bikes going out for a hot lap. Cool.
Well, alrighty then.
As the racers take to the track for their warm-up lap, here's how they're going to grid up. On row number 1, bike number 660, John Beldock. 329, Matthew Crabtree. 13X, Steve Metz. And 77L, Patrick Lansu. On row number 2, it's 222R, Jeff Graham. 090, Christian Miekma. And bike number 042, Thomas Montano. Row number 3, it's 4X, Herman Kolek. 68R, Craig Grantham. 351, Dan Wilson. 9Q, Jim Barker. Row number 4, it's 203, Dave Moss. 11T, Mark Jurasek. And 919, Daniel Buckner. Row number 5, it's 174, Jim Weidman. 33C, Eric Gulbranson. 18X, Gavin Botham. And bike number 879, Michael Jobling. Row number 6 is bike number 188, Luke Luciano. 123, Troy Sahan. And bike number 175, Matthew Canava. Row number 7, it's 91X, Alex Taylor. 771, Ray Hoffman. 99T, Tom Murray. And bike number 90R, Paul Vogel. Row number 8, it's bike number 327, Kenji Watanabe. And bike number 885, Ted Kasparian. For the Motard field presented by Motul, back on row number 10, it's 21B, Andrew Berkeley. Bike number 60, Jeff Sesmet. Bike number 501, Randall Wade. And bike number 065, Yuri Brannigan. Row number 11, it's bike number 393, Dr. Rosh Natashari. And bike number 68X, Michael Veen. For the Formula Extreme, powered by Team Power Sports and Sev Alderman, back on row number 13 is 447, Peter Nicolosi. Bike number 316, Nick Lambert. And 667, Patrick McBride. For the Formula Lightning field, presented by Peter Nicolosi, on row number 15, it's bike number 1K, Curtis Comer. 73X, Richard Illman. 96R, Kenyon Kluge. Bike number 366, Michael Maddock. And rounding out your field on row number 16, it's bike number 391, Dylan Andraco. That is your field here for race number 3. For the Sound of Thunder 1, this is sponsored by AHRMA Motorsports. AHRMA Motorsports is a Triumph, Ducati, Moto Guzzi, and Vespa dealership located in the heart of downtown Denver, Colorado. Celebrating 3 decades of serving the motorcycle community, AHRMA Motorsports is exciting, exotic, and European. When in Denver, be sure and check out their vintage motorcycle collection on display. Wearing the number 66, John Beldock can be seen racing his Airco Motorsports Triumph Moto2 Daytona at AHRMA event. Some of the biggest, fastest bikes in an AHRMA racing are out on the track right now. Unlimited displacement 4-stroke singles, twins, and triples are legal. This is also open to AHRMA's open 2-stroke bikes and even rotary engines. Looks like we've got the grid setting up out there, waiting for him to take the green flag here in just a moment. This is going to prove to be a very fast and exciting race, as we've got a lot of the Daytona specials out there from Triumph and a lot of the big Ducatis out front on the first wave.
Ducati.
Yes, Ducati. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not European.
Ducati.
I grew up in Missouri.
I know. All right.
And you can tell because I said Missouri, not
race,
Missouri.
Race number 3 of a 13 race day. Our second day here in beautiful Monterey, Laguna Seca.
Boy, there's some pretty bikes on that grid.
Very pretty bikes on this grid, right?
A couple of Kate Slims back there, too.
So again, a little bit more modern stuff. I mean, there's e-bikes out there, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just old stuff here.
That's true.
Not just old stuff.
Looks like the grids are all set up. Starter leans into it, waiting to go one board sideways, and there goes the green flag as it looks like 222R. Jeff Graham gets a great start from that second row as the field lives up to their name. The Sound of Thunder 1 as they thunder over the top of the crest of the hill there, down into turn number 1, over into turn number 2. Starter looking back to make sure everybody's clean through those turns as he's waiting for him to clear the track. Looks back towards the second wave for the Motard field as there they go, starting their race. It looks like bike number 21B, Andrew Berkeley, gets a great start with bike number 60, Jeff Sessman, right there behind him as they work their way over the crest of the hill of turn number 1 over to turn number 2. Meanwhile, Sound of Thunder 1 really starting to get ahead of steam up over to the turns 3, 4 area. Now over to turn 5 and up the hill they go to complete lap number 1. Here are the e-bikes. And I stopped talking at the e-bikes because those things sound so cool when they take off down the front straightaway.
I know, aren't they great?
We'll get the full running order here for you in just a moment when they come around to complete lap number 1.
Yeah, we had an interesting conversation yesterday. Folks chiming in the comments letting us know that a lot of times the e-bikes don't take advantage of the sighting lap or warm-up lap because the bikes get too hot to have like peak power at launch. So a lot of times the e-bikes choose to not go ahead and do that lap, which I thought was really fascinating.
Sound of Thunder 1 field, we're thundering down through the rainy curves over into turn number 11. One more time, looks like we got 3-rider breakaway up front as one rider really stretching out his lead at the line. It is going to be bike number 042, Thomas Montano. Not surprising, he was extremely fast yesterday. 13X Steve Metz back there in second. 33C Eric Gilbranson rounding out your top 3. Gilbranson was really fast himself yesterday. Look to see him moving up on the leaderboard himself. 660 John Beldock there in 4th, and 174 Jimmy Weinman rounding out your top 5. 123 Troy Cheyenne back there in 6th. 177 Ray Hoffman back in 7th. 68R Craig Grantham is in 8th. Bike number 91, Alex Taylor back there in 9th, at 329. Matthew Crabtree round out the top 10. Looking back for the Motard field, 21B, Andrew Berkeley leading in that one over 60, Jeff Sessman, and then bike number 68, Michael Veen back there for the Motard field. Here come the electric bikes out front for the electric bikes zipping on by. It is bike number 96R, Kenyon Kluge out front with 316 Nick Lambert back there, 447 Peter Nicolosi across the line next. Then it's going to be bike number 73X, Richard Illman, and I believe we got one of the e-bikes out there that doesn't have a transponder because he went by but he didn't show up on my board through Race Monitor. We'll find out who he is here in just a moment. While up front, 042 Thomas Montano starting to stretch out his lead, but it looks like that's, and here comes Gulbranson right there. So 33C Eric Gulbranson on that big KTM, stretching its legs, trying to reel in 042 Thomas Montano, but 13X Steve Metz right there behind him. You could have thrown a blanket over those three as they thundered across that start-finish line one more time. 123 Troy Sahayan has his hands full with a race between 771 and Ray Hoffman and 660 John Beldock. Those guys are having a heck of a battle themselves from 4th on through 6th as Montano has Gulbranson sizing him up, trying to step up on that top step of the podium. Going on through the field, 177 Jimmy Weidman still back there in 7th, 91X Alex Taylor back in 8th, 96R Craig Grantham in that 9th place position, and 222R Jeff Graham rounding out your top 10 as Montano leads Gulbranson and Metz through the turns 4, 5, and 6 area.
Thunderclass keeping it honest out there. That is some tight racing.
Well, Montana was really fast yesterday, and when he came around that first lap, he was starting to really stretch it out, and I was really surprised to see Gulbranson and Metz that close behind him on this next lap.
Yeah, same.
Want to let everybody know that immediately following this race, we will be at our lunch break, so keep that in mind. We've got the trailers open, the food trucks open over down there if you want to pick yourself up something to eat. Mexican, they got some German bratwurst, and I can smell that barbecue from here.
I know, right? Doesn't it smell incredible?
Boy, every time I step on the back section.
Food trucks here are awesome.
Boy, they are good. Race leaders already working their way around some lap traffic as put bike number 33C Eric Gulbranson up on that top step of the podium with 042 Thomas Montano right there behind him, and 13X Steve Metz rounding out your top 3. I'm sure they're going to encounter some more of the lap traffic, so it'll be interesting to see how that's going to come into play with 123 Troy Sahan out there, got himself a little bit of breathing room with bike number 771 Ray Hoffman behind him, rounding out your top 5. Like I said, we're going to be at lunch break here and immediately following this race. And while we got a moment, I'd like to thank Bridgestone Tires for their sponsorship here of the National Sponsor Program. Bridgestone is proud to be the official motorcycle tire of AHRMA. From road racing to motocross, Bridgestone has a wide range of tires to fit your vintage racing needs. Go see their full lineup at BridgestoneMotorcycleTire.com, or better yet, see Stick Boy Racing down there in the red trailer to see what kind of tires, Bridgestone tires, are available for your racing program. Also want to say thank you to Bridgestone. They have offered over $126,000 worth of tire contingency this year. So a great time to go down and talk to Stick Boy at Bridgestone to see what kind of racing tires are available for your program and maybe claim some of that money yourself. Halfway flags out for your race leader, 33C Eric Gulbranson leads this one with 042 Thomas Montano right there behind him, and bike number 13 Steve Metz still in the hunt as those three are still working their way through lap traffic over through the corkscrew, and now here they come onto the front straightaway one more time. Looks like Gulbranson takes an inside line. Thomas Montano lets it run way wide out of 11 and way outside of turn number 11 with 13X Steve Metz right there. Still anybody's race. Everybody's seen halfway flags now. So whatever happened, it would be considered a race. Meanwhile, bike number 123 still has Troy Sahan, still has 777 Ray Hoffman stalking him for that 4th place position. Then a big battle between 174 Jimmy Weidman, 22R Jeff Graham moving forward, 660 John Beldock dropping back a position back there in 8th, 91X Alex Taylor in 9th, and 329 Matthew Crabtree moving forward to round out your top 10 as Gulbranson, Montano, and Metz continue to freight train around this track, showing no mercy.
Yeah, it's going to be a real barn burner here down at the last lap. Those guys are just all over each other. Alright, right now if you're following along, this is going to be turns 5 into 6. That part of the track, the bottom, is going to be 3 heading to 4.
Back in the Motard field, looks like 21B Andrew Berkeley still getting the better of his battle with bike number 60, Jeff Sessman, as we're waiting for the race leaders to come back into view here one more time. White flag will be out this next time by for the race leaders as they continue to work their way through some of the back markers. Here they come on to the front straightaway. Looks like Gil Branson really power wheelies that big KTM, flexing his muscle with Montano right there behind him on the Ducati, sizing him up, trying to work a draft, but couldn't quite make it work as 13X Steve Metz still right there, a couple of bike lengths adrift, watching it all unfold in front of him. A white flag is out on this one, so whatever's going to happen, it's going to have to happen this lap. Is Branson, Montano, and Metz all duking it out for that top step of the podium here in the Sound of Thunder 1. Back through the results, or rather through the standings. Bike number 123, Troy Sahan still back there in fourth. 771, Ray Hoffman still rounding out your top 5. Bike number 174, Jimmy Weidman, and 222R, Jeff Graham having a good battle back there for 6 with 660. John Beldak back there in that 8th place position. 98 1X, Alex Taylor in 9th, and 329, Matthew Crabtree still holding on to that top 10 position as Branson, Montano, and Metz working their way up through that back section up to the top of the hill through with a corkscrew. Excuse me. Looks like the race leader's in some traffic as they're working down through the rainy curves here on this final session, or final lap rather, here. But race number 3 again will be a lunch break after this one. Here they come through the traffic out across the start finish line. It looks like, it's Montano was able to make the traffic work to him, so put 042 Thomas Montano up on the top step of the podium. 33C Eric Branson bringing that big thundering KTM home second in position, and bike number 13X Steve Metz holding on to round out your top 3 as they were working around some of the back markers. What an exciting finish to race number 3.
Oh my gosh.
That was cool.
They're trying to give me a heart attack. Did you see them go super wide?
Yeah. Looks like Montano pulled a skillful move, using the back markers to his advantage as he puts himself unofficially on the top step of the podium. 123 Troy Sahan back there in 4th, and 771 Ray Hoffman still rounding out your top 5 for the Sound of Thunder 1. Looking back here, waiting for our Motard field to come across the line. It was bike number 21B, Andrew Berkeley, leading that last lap with bike number 60. Jeff Sessman back there in that second place position, in bike number 68X. Michael Veen unofficially back there in 3rd.
Yeah, I see on the second day of racing here, everyone's decided to hang it all the way out, Jay.
Boy, they did. They absolutely did.
Oh my gosh.
Here come your Motard bikes.
Cool.
I think.
E-bike.
Yep. Motard's getting around the e-bikes. And there's your unofficial race winner for the Motards. Bike number 21B, Andrew Berkeley, taking the unofficial win in that one. Then it's going to be bike number 60, Jeff Sessmet, taking the unofficial second. With the conclusion of this one, we are now officially at lunch break. We'd like to give a shout out to Haggerty Insurance. Haggerty's off-track insurance guarantees your race bike is properly protected. And don't forget coverage for spare parts, tools, and your trailer, plus membership in Haggerty's Drivers Club. Get started today by visiting them on the web at Haggerty.com. Also like to say thank you to UTR and Kansas 811. Kansas 811 and Underground Team Racing are proud to be AHRMA's national safety sponsor. They thank you for the great opportunity to deliver the 811 and safety message across the country. Visit them on the web at Kansas811.com and UTR811.com. Remember, stay tuned, stay safe, and always call before you dig. We are now officially at lunch break. Alrighty,
as always, for the more thorough results of all of the different classes, because these grids sometimes get a little big. I can only show the first 10 finishers on my screen, or else it just kind of messes up my computer system. So anyway, you can always head over to race-monitor.com for all of the more detailed results and standings and timing and scoring and all that kind of good stuff. So that is going to conclude our morning program. We're going to be taking a lunch break for approximately 1 hour, and then we'll be coming back for our afternoon races. So make sure you turn notifications on, whether you are watching on YouTube or Facebook. You are not going to want to miss a great afternoon of racing here at the classic MotoFest of Monterey. Performed, of course, with AHRMA, with the AHRMA Road Racing. So make sure you come on back. You're not going to want to miss it. See you guys on the flip side of lunch.